Welcome to another episode of Eye on Tobago, a 15-minute feature program produced by the Department of Information at the Office of the Chief Secretary. I'm Davia Chambers, and today with me is Julien Skeete, the Youth Program Coordinator at the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs. Welcome, Julien.
Thank you very much for having me.
Today, we'll be discussing the Tobago Youth Awards 2018. So, Mr. Skeete is firstly going to tell us how long the award ceremony has been established and what are the primary objectives.
Well, the award ceremony would have been established in 2003. For us within the Department of Youth Affairs and in the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs, there was an identified need where it is young persons were doing very outstanding work within the Tobago space, and we felt that there should be an opportunity where we pull these young persons together to highlight their achievements over a particular period. And more than that, we felt that this could also serve as an opportunity to encourage other young persons who have a similar interest.
Okay. And what has the response been like from young people in the past?
Well, the response has been pretty good over the years. In fact, our nomination listings are usually just over about 100 within the respective categories. On average, we would have just about 10 or so in terms of submissions coming in each of the categories, and we have 11 individual and 3 group categories.
Okay. And could you specifically tell us the categories in the Tobago Youth Awards?
All right. So the categories in the Tobago Youth Awards, the individual categories are education, health and wellness, youth triumph, agriculture, media. There's also youth service, entrepreneurship. There's performing arts. There's youth leader. And then the other 2 individual categories, one is the People's Choice, which is the Student Leadership Award. And then that is exclusively to students of high schools in Tobago. And then we have the Youth Mentor Award, which is the only one that caters to age 30 and over.
Is the People's Choice Award a new category?
Yes, so the People's Choice would have been a category that was introduced in 2013. For us, we would have introduced the People's Choice because of a particular demand from our high school students that, an award that would have been established from 2003, there should be at least one category that focuses exclusively on our students. And more than that, that's the only category that is not determined by the selection committee, but rather it's an opportunity to showcase the outstanding achievements of our young persons, and via social media, our Department of Youth Affairs Tobago Facebook page, persons will vote after reading about the achievements of the young persons and the students.
Okay. And how does the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs actually motivate young people to be a part of the Tobago Youth Awards?
Well, for us, what we have done, one of the things we have introduced coming out of last year is at the end of Youth Awards, we do the promotion of our awardees. And we would have started what we would have branded as Road to TYA Tobago Youth Awards 2018, where on a monthly basis we were highlighting the status of where our youth awardees were at in terms of our award winners, and we did that via an article with images and of course information. The idea is that we will be advancing even further with that effort in 2018, so the possibility exists that we'll probably now see videos and other components to really highlight, because what we have found is that kept the momentum going for young persons. But more than that, for those who probably may not have attended the Youth Awards or may not have followed it on the Facebook Live, seeing these features coming out every month was really an opportunity to remind them of our young persons and the work that they're doing here on the island of Tobago.
Okay, and we know that the Tobago Youth Awards follows the National Youth Awards, which was recently held. Could the persons who were nominated and the persons who won categories in the National Youth Awards be nominated for the Tobago Youth Awards as well?
Right, so let me just explain the process. I'm happy that very good question that you would have asked that. The Tobago Youth Awards would normally take place, as you indicated, it follows the National Youth Awards. And what we would have is when young persons excel at the Tobago Youth Awards, we would encourage submissions at the national level. The only limitation that exists for us is once you have won a Tobago Youth Awards in a particular category, you are no longer eligible for that category. The idea is really that we are looking for young persons that stand out and to continue to excel in the area of work, but you can't submit in any other category. And similarly as well, we will encourage, based on the category that you have won in or you have done well in, we encourage your submission at the national level. And once again, this is the second time around. In 2015, which is the last time the National Youth Awards was held, Tobago would have taken home several awards. Of course, a very proud moment for us. And as it was reintroduced this year in 2018, we saw Tobago once again taking home, I think it would have just been about 9 of the awards coming to Tobago. Again, a clear indication of the exceptional work our young persons are doing here on the island.
Indeed, it definitely was a proud moment. Now, can you tell me who's eligible to participate in the Tobago Youth Awards 2018?
Right. In terms of our nominees, ought to be young persons within the age of 12 to 29, in keeping with the National Youth Policy. We have also asked as another criteria that they are required to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, resident in Tobago. That's another factor to be mindful of. We have identified the main period of achievement as September 2017 to August of 2018, which therefore means, for example, if I'm submitting in the entrepreneurship category, it could very well mean that my business would have had impact outside of that period. However, that's the main period within which something outstanding would have happened, and therefore you would be eligible to submit. So it's not exclusive to that period, but that will be the primary period of consideration. And of course, the rule that I would have mentioned before, so long as you have won in a category previously, you're not eligible to submit in the same category. And that is specific to the individual awardees. And then for the group awards, we have 3 group categories: most outstanding youth organization, most improved youth organization, and most effective youth program or project. And therefore, groups are also eligible to submit in those categories based on the work that they've been doing.
Okay. And can persons nominate themselves?
Well, the process is twofold. You are required to sign your nomination form as the nominee, which therefore means you cannot nominate yourself. However, you are just required to have one nominator in order to nominate you. So basically what that speaks to is there must be one person within the island or within the country that can testify to the fact that the information being submitted is in fact a true and a fair representation of the achievements of the young person, and that qualifies you to become a nominee.
Okay. And you said the person must be a resident of Tobago. Is there a period of time that they must have been a resident in Tobago?
Well, no. At this point, we have no limitation in terms of the time that you have to be resident in Tobago. But being a resident would be considerate of the fact in terms of the achievement that you have communicated. So we would expect that they would look particularly at the period of the primary period, which is September of 2017 to August of 2018. But it does not necessarily mean that you had to have been in Tobago for every day within that period in order to qualify. The focus usually is more so on the impact and the youth development initiative or efforts that the young persons would have done.
Okay, and when is the deadline for nominations?
Right, the deadline for nominations is Tuesday, the 27th of September, and we really want to encourage persons as much as possible to make their submissions. We also want to remind persons that as it relates to the People's Choice, that award would be determined online by vote. So we encourage persons to look out for the outstanding achievements of our young persons, and usually that is released closer to the awards date. So we ask persons to please follow us via Facebook, Department of Youth Affairs, Tobago.
Okay, is there anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Skeete, regarding the Tobago Youth Awards 2018?
Well, we continue to remain committed in the Department of Youth Affairs and the Division of Sport and Youth Affairs to the overall development of our young persons. And the Youth Awards 2018 program is only one such program that will continue to focus on recognizing those outstanding achievements.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Skeete.
Thank you.
That brings us to the end of Eye on Tobago. Thank you so much for viewing. See you next time.